is Eliua. I'm new to this YouTube channel, and it isn't because I haven't been partaking of the teachings. Um, having been awakened as a child of Yahuda in the nation of Yashar'Al, being saved from Christianity and Christendom, I've been exposed to quite a few different people out there with some pretty good information. People who have dedicated major portions of their life in research, study, and the development of the scriptures. I'm not going to use the word truth because, as Pontius Pilate once said, what is truth? That was a profound statement because truth is in the eyes of the beholder, now isn't it? Your truth might not be my truth. And if you have motives, then you can make your truth whatever it needs to be in order to accomplish your goal or desire. Now, there's only one truth, and that truth is the truth of Yahuwah, the truth spoken through all these thousands of years, through all of these 66 plus books. The Word, who is Yahusha, He is truth. And let me quote him. For the Father, there will be a time when the Father seeks true worshipers. Worshipers who worship in Rook and truth. Now, let's talk about that. Because Rook, the Ruach of the Most High, is the set apart Rook, or the Rook HaKodesh. That is his spirit. Yehukanan chapter 3 verse 8 says, the Rook breathes where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but do not know where it comes from and where it goes. So is everyone who has been begotten of the Rook. That is profound and it's simple. We got people out here faking the funk. Oh, they look good. They dress like Hebrews. They talk like Hebrews. They put out information through study, truth, history, facts. But wolves tend to hide among the sheep. Just like in the days of old, in Yahusha's time, there were wolves hiding among the sheep, the Pershim, the Pharisees, and the Sadducees. The people who so-called knew the word, put off this real saintly, priestly air. Well, I'm going to go to that scripture before I get into what I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to talk about it real quick. Because the subject, it's upsetting me. So I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here in a minute. Yochanan chapter 6 verses 39 says, you search the scriptures because you think you possess everlasting life in them. And these are the ones that bear witness of me. But you do not desire to come to me in order to possess life. Yahusha says, I do not receive esteem from men, but I know that you do not have the love of Elohim in you. So I'll go back to chapter 2, verse 13. And the Passover of the Yuadim was near, and Yahusha went up to Jerusalem. This is very important when I mention Jerusalem, because this is going to be the subject of my discussion here, okay? So anyway, let's go back. And the Passover of the Yuadim was near, and Yahusha went up to Jerusalem. And he found in the set apart place those selling oxen and sheep and doves, and the money changers sitting. And Yusha, having made a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the set apart place with the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the money changers' coins, and overturned the tables. And he said to those selling doves, "Take these away. Do not make the house of my father a house of merchandise." Stop right there. This is where I begin. Now, like I said, I'm new to joining the fight to wake up Yashar'Al in the new Mitzrayim, the Babylon, America. I'm new, but I'm not new. I believe that the Rook HaKodesh breathed on me. So I watched, and I watched from a distance, and now the Spirit of Yah, the Rook of Yah is in me, so he's fired up, and I got to say this, and I hope it gets to where it needs to get to, because these people, husband and wife team, have a ministry that they're trying to protect. There's another teacher out there, a young man, he's got over 300,000 subscribers. I'm like, holy smokes, right? And these other people, they got about 72,000, right? And I'm like, okay, this is like mega church type stuff. Well, let me listen, because the information I needed, they've been reaping. I want to sow. They've been sowing, right? And I reap, right? And others are reaping from what their work. That's scriptural, right? But then there's error, and then man takes over, and then motives cloud judgment. So there was a teaching by the young man who I really enjoyed, and it sparked. And first of all, he's not telling you to believe him. He tells you in his teaching, in his presentation, don't believe a word I say. Do your own research. That's what the word tells you. Diligently seek him. Seek out the truth for your own self. If you don't know where to look, or you don't know how to start, there's teachers out. When you're in school, let me use an example. When you're in school, right, you don't know how to add 1 plus 1. So there's a teacher who gets on the blackboard and writes out 1 plus 1. And the equal sign and 2. And then you have to figure it out. Then from that simple equation, you have been introduced into the world of mathematics and logic. Okay? Now, this young man, for whatever the Rook or touched him, I guess, or his own curiosity, and he decided one of his teachers taught him something. If you want to search out the truth, go to the ancient things. Because today is so flipped, and we've been lied to and deceived, and we've been so confused and utterly deceived. We don't know up from down, left from right, what's good, what's bad. But the Ancient of Days, you want to find the truth, you got to go backwards to find your roots. Why do they have AncestryDNA.com, right? So you can find your roots. Find out where you came from, right? If you find out where you came from, then you kind of get an idea of who you are. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, so he does some research. He comes up with these ancient maps, and it's like, whoa, Jerusalem, Bathsheba, and, them all those scriptural places, they aren't where we've been taught. All these ancient maps are showing this, not just one, plenty of them. So he's putting it out there. The question, think about this, right? He don't know. He ain't been back there. He ain't never been there. He's 24 years old. He don't know. He don't know. But what he is doing is seeking, diligently searching for the truth. And then you've got these people who have set themselves up over their ministry to come off with this sanctimonious rebuke on YouTube, starting a fight. Truth. We're here to tell the truth. You know, don't be deceived. You know, when we want to correct error. You know, in the Bible, if you want to find out where Egypt is or Jerusalem is, you know, the Most High put Egypt in a spot, and there's Egypt. And everybody knows that's where it is. And if you want to know everything, boy, that's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. First of all, you were using a map by the same people. You accused him of using maps by people who were supposedly deceiving us. You use the same freaking map from the same people. Come on, man. And then you got the nerve to use failed logic. A logical fallacy. You said, well, it's 4,000 miles from Egypt to South Africa, where this Jerusalem's supposed to be, was or something. Yeah, 4,000 miles. You're right. With the borders of Egypt being what they are today, do you know what the borders of Egypt was? Mitzrayim was 6,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. Do you know? You don't, do you? You don't, because Egypt, Mitzrayim, right? They're relatives with Cush and Nimrod, right? Put, right? They were next door neighbors. They fought back and forth, and Mitzrayim actually conquered them. You heard about the Black Pharaohs, haven't you? Well, that's way down in there. That goes way down. Cush, the Ethiopian Empire. The Egyptians worked with all of them peoples. There were little skirmishes back and forth. You have no idea what the borders of Egypt was. You don't know. You don't know. All right? But in the face of this, there's these other maps that provide questions. Right? Hey, I looked at the map. You got Jerusalem there. You got pools. You got freaking Beersheba, I'm sorry, Bethany, you know, you got Saul, you got all these places, all these biblical towns and places that's mentioned here in the travels of the patriarchs. But yet you can't fathom that as being a possibility. Read your scriptures. It says Jerusalem shall be desolate, and the land is enjoying a Shabbat in our absence. Well, if Israel, Jerusalem, that you are pointing to, and I'm going to get to your motives here in a second, that you're pointing to, when was that established? First of all, that little piece of land there with those Ashkenazi Khazars that's living there now, who's claiming to be Yuhadim and they're not. That doesn't look desolate to me. All these so-called holy sites. Come on, man. Yah told you they were going to utterly destroy the temple. Not a stone would be left standing. How's there a Wailing Wall standing there then? The truth is right before you. Who you working for? Now let's get to motives. You have merchandise for sale. You don't want your flock to run to another pastor, another teacher, because they might you might just be exposed. Well, I guess it's time because I'm an objective watcher. I just saw this, watchman. I saw it. I watched you. I watched her white out. I saw it. And he found them in a set apart place, those selling oxen and sheep and doves, and the money changer city. And having made a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the set apart place with the sheep and oxen, and poured out the money changers' coins and overturned their tables. He said to those selling doves, "Take these away. Do not make the house of my father a house of merchandise." You said it right on your channel. Merchandise for sale. Your motives. Do you know the truth? Were you there? Do you know? Look, I don't know where Jerusalem is. I don't know. I do know that I've never been there. Not in this flesh. And neither have you. So why are you fighting? Why are you trying to discredit this man who's doing the work to spark your brain? Why wouldn't you join in the research effort to collaborate, to maybe even check it out, as opposed to debunking? You don't know where Mary and Yahusha and Joseph were when they traveled to Mitzrayim. Were they in upper? Did they travel to upper Mitzrayim or lower Mitzrayim? You don't know where they were when they started. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that makes sense to me. If the borders of Mitzrayim were extended down past the Sudan, current day Sudan, which was the land of Cush and the Ethiopian Empire, if it extended down that deep, right? And down to sub-Saharan Africa, right? We're just above South Africa. He wasn't talking about in South Africa. He was talking a little bit above South Africa. Anyway, where those towns that are clearly marked on the map were. Beersheba, Bethany, Bethlehem. Isn't it possible? Possible? Could it be possible that Miriam and Joseph, Yahusha, did walk to upper Egypt, which would be the lower, which would have been in those borders of Cush, considered Cush? You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know how much territory the Mitzrayim had then. You looking at what they got now. So you're looking at the glass kind of foggy. You're not using logic, but you want to hold on to your flock and use truth. You don't know what you're talking about because you won't research it. But you are, matter of fact, hanging on to your motives. Your motives, money changers. And I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to go. The word here says in chapter 2, Yochanan, chapter 2, verse 14, and he, meaning Yahusha, found in the set apart place. The set apart place. What does that mean in your scriptures? What does that mean, set apart place? Sacred, holy, right? You think in the temple, place of worship. Yeah, but does it mean that? Huh? Let's look a little deeper. The set apart place. You're supposed to be the set apart place. The Rook is supposed to be dwelling in you. You're supposed to be set apart in the name of Yah. What are you doing? So he's going to come and turn your coins over. I don't know why your message pissed me off so. I don't know why the Rook fired up in me so. You don't know me from Adam's time, cat, and I don't know you personally. And this isn't a personal attack. It is an ad hominem attack. It is none. But what it is correction. I don't have any followers. And I don't know. I may be one or two. I mean, I'm brand new. But like I said, I've been watching. I've been subscribing to quite a whole bunch of channels out there, right? And I've seen some of the comments on your page, when people were saying, we should all get along and none of the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we should, right? We really should, right? And rebuke is all part of the game because none of us know nothing. Not really. We don't. We're just trying to find our way, right? We're trying to get ourselves up from under Babylon. But just like the children of Israel on the mountain, when Yah came to visit them, just like then, snakes in the grass, there's always people that want to sow dissension. Yahusha, Yah himself, wrapped in flesh, the word. And he ran into the same darn problems. You search the scriptures because you think you possess every lasting life in them. Yeah, you do a lot of little history and all that good stuff, and I really appreciated some of the work that you've done because it helped tremendously, right? But don't go getting it twisted. Don't go thinking you are more than you think you are. When you puff yourself up to be, Mr. and Mrs. Yahuwah, you better watch out, man. The word is the word. And information is information, right? And if there's an inkling of credibility to it, or if it's something that sparks curiosity, right? I'm not just going to go debunking some stuff, especially if I ain't researched it. You say you researched to debunk, and I found your logic faulty. Your statements weren't credible at all. All right, I'm done. Praise him with the heart and the land. Praise him with the tremble and dance. Praise him with string instruments, pipes. Praise him with sounding cymbals. Praise him